still isn't going down. You're doing hours on a treadmill, the elliptical, Stairmaster, doing 10K steps a day, but you still don't see your belly fat going away. In this video, I'm gonna share with you why you're not lazy, man. Because most people be like, man, am I lazy? Am I not doing enough? And that's not it. You just don't have the right structure and the right approach to being able to slim down your waistline. And so I'm gonna share these things with you. These are the same things I teach my coaching clients who are dropping 30, 40, 50 plus pounds in only 6 months, okay? And so with that said, the first thing is this. Yes, you do wanna do cardio, okay? You're not crazy to think that you're doing something wrong. No, you do wanna do cardio, but it's not so much for weight loss. I know that is very contradicting to what you probably heard from all the fitness trainers and coaches out there, but no, you're only gonna burn so many calories doing the treadmill, the Stairmaster for an hour or 45 minutes or 30 minutes. Like, just look at the estimated amount of calories that you burn, because it is an estimation of calories that you burn. It's not the exact amount. When you look on the treadmill or the Stairmaster or the elliptical, it may say, oh, you burned 300 in 30 minutes. Oh, you burned 600 in an hour. It could be a little bit less, and it could be potentially a little bit more, possibly. But this is like the hamster wheel that I see a lot of people tend to go through when they're trying to lose belly fat. They're thinking that they need to put more time, more effort, more energy into doing cardio, which it burns them out. You're like, dang, man, well, I don't have no more time to be doing cardio. Like, what else I need to do? And they find themselves tired and discouraged and disappointed, and they fall off. And so how do you work smarter and not harder? That's what I'm about doing. That's what I teach folks, okay? That's why I teach busy professionals, because one, you don't have the type of time that a bodybuilder has to be in a gym doing an hour plus with cardio, okay? And so what we want to do instead is we want to think leverage, okay? We want to think, how can I get the most bang for my buck while doing less, okay? Still go put in effort, but just not as much time, okay? And so first thing is this. We still want to do cardio, but we have to use strength training to give you leverage, okay, guys? If you're just doing cardio and you wonder why, you may be potentially dropping a little bit of weight, but you still look skinny fat. You still look soft. You're not developing any tone or definition. This happens because all you're doing is cardio. You can't get definition, guys. You can't get cut, guys. For all my ladies, you can't get toned if all you're doing is cardio. You're just gonna slim down and be a smaller version of your chubby self, okay? And so what we wanna do is start hitting the weights. This doesn't have to be working out and lifting weights like a bodybuilder every single day of the week or doing hours of lifting. You don't have to do that, guys. You can work out 40, 45, even 30 minutes. 30 minutes to an hour is all you need when it comes to lifting, okay? That's it. And you can get extremely lean and cut, okay? And so, but doing this 3 to 4 days a week, that's all you need, guys. All right? Even myself, I'm not in the gym for hours lifting weights. My workouts are even 25 to 35 minutes with lifting, and then I'll do another 20, maybe 30 minutes of cardio on a treadmill or a Stairmaster, or like the assault bike or something like that. And so it's about working more efficiently, having structure with what you're doing, okay? Lifting weights is gonna help you tone. As you build muscle from lifting weights, you're gonna be able to burn more body fat. It's gonna increase your metabolism. For anybody who has things like your A1C levels are getting up there. You have pre or type 2 diabetes. A lot of people just think, well, I need to cut back on my sugar intake. No, you can be lifting weights. This can improve your insulin sensitivity, all right? This can help regulate your blood sugar by lifting and doing cardio the right way, okay? So that's the first thing you wanna do. Start leveraging strength training. That way you can build a body that you feel proud about, feel confident with when you have your clothes or your suits on, or when you have your clothes off, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing, you can't just be calorie focused. If you're just calorie focused, guys, you're gonna find yourself having a hard time being able to slim down and have definition and cuts, okay? I see your question, somebody asked a question. I'm gonna answer your question. Let me just get through the topic first, and then once I finish, I'll answer everybody's questions, okay? So I'm not ignoring you. So the first thing is this. If you're just doing cardio and trying to eat healthy, and you're wondering why you're not losing weight. Or you may be losing weight, but you wonder why you're feeling tired, you're feeling hungry, you're feeling irritable. These things happen because of you're deficient, because you're just focused on calories, but not the essentials of what you need within your diet to have energy while you're dropping body fat, while you're losing weight, okay? This is super important, guys, because I see so many people burn out from just eating healthy, eating less food, and doing cardio. And they're like, man, why in the world do I feel so bad? I thought I was supposed to feel healthier. I thought I was supposed to have more energy, but that's not what's happening. They feel worse, plus their stomach's still not dropping, okay? And so what we want to do is calorie intake, but also, and the way I like to put it, it's not just calorie intake, it's really energy management. And so what I mean by energy management, calories is a metric of energy, guys, okay? So if you overconsume on calories, energy, it just turns into fat. Our body just stores as excess fat, okay? Because our body isn't utilizing it. And so what we want to do is have the right amount of calorie intake first, but second, we want to pay attention to essentials, things like protein intake, things like fiber intake, things like healthy fat intake, guys. This is what fuels your body. That way you have energy. That way you feel good physically and mentally. That way you have good gut health, so you're not falling into these mental ruts. A lot of people don't even realize your gut health affects your mental health. And so if you're always feeling like you're in like a downer, like you're having these downer days, you can get out of that by leveraging the way you eat and the way you move when you hit the gym, lifting weights, doing cardio. These things do help with those things, okay? A lot of times people think that they have high blood pressure, pre or type 2 diabetes, and they just go get the medication. They think they're good. That doesn't solve the problem. It just masks the problem. But the problem is still there. And it gets worse if you don't start making improvements with your habits. And so what we want to do is we want to solve these problems, guys, okay? I spoke to a guy the other day. He was talking about he had high blood pressure for like 10-something years. And he went to the doctors, and it got worse, progressively worse. And he didn't just have high blood pressure. Now he had kidney disease. And he's moving closer and closer to ending up on dialysis. This is what happens when you just think these medications are gonna help you, gonna solve the problem. No, it just masks the problem. But you have to solve the problem by changing your lifestyle, okay? That's why I talk about lifestyle training, lifestyle coaching, okay? Not just weight loss. And so that's the second thing you wanna do, because you can't outwork poor nutrition habits. You be doing all the cardio in the world for hours a day. And if you're eating junk food, going back home and eating bagels, donuts, or at work snacking on chips and trail mix, and you're like, dang, why my stomach not going down? Why my clothes not fitting no more? That's why. Your eating habits, guys, okay? You gotta improve your eating habits. Otherwise, you're not just gonna have a look problem, an appearance problem that affects your confidence. You're gonna have a health problem that can cost you a lot more money, a lot more stress, because now you're not just worrying about providing for your family and putting in effort with your business or your career. Now you got to worry about these health issues. Now you got to worry about this brain fog that's making it harder for you to work throughout the day. Now you got to worry about this heart disease where you're like, man, I don't want to mess around and have no stroke. I got kids, I got family at home that's depending on me. These are the things that cause stress, worry. Stress causes cortisol to increase in our body. That's a hormone. It makes it harder for us to burn fat when we have a high level of cortisol that's produced in our body from stress. And so it's important to exercise. It's important to do cardio. It's important to make healthier decisions, and so that you can have a better quality of life, okay? So that's the second thing. The last thing, you have to shift from randomness in the gym to having structure. A lot of times I talk about this on social media, and I say you gotta switch from working out and start training. Stop working out, start training. The difference is, if you're just doing randomness when you hit the gym, you're just working out, you do a little cardio, you do a little bench press here and there, you do a little abs, you hoop with the boys, you do a little cycling class or something like that, but there's no structure to what you're doing. You're just doing something, and you get what I call an empty victory. Oh, I did something today. I feel good. But Are you happy with the results? Most people are not happy with the results because they like, man, I'm putting in all this time and effort, but I still don't look good. Still not happy with how my body looking. I'm still not happy with how my clothes fitting. These things happen from randomness. This happens from not having structure. This causes inconsistency because you're winging it. Some days you feel like it, some days you don't. Some days you push yourself a little harder, some days you don't. Randomness. Some days you hit the cardio, some days you might just walk a little bit. Randomness. But when you have structure, this is what breeds consistency, guys. Structure. The same way you excel in your career, you have structure. You're not winging it. You know exactly what you need to do before you start your shift, during your shift, even when you finish your shift. Or if you have a business, you know what you need to be doing when you wake up, before you start doing your work, what you need to be doing when you start your work, and what you need to do when you're finishing up. You have structure. If you want to be healthy, not just now, you want to look good, not just now, you want to feel good, not just now, but long term. Structure is what gives you that, guys. Structure. You have to have routine. You have to have habits that you can sustain. Not just, I'm going to do hours of cardio. I'm going to start doing 10,000 steps a day just for a couple of months. What's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen when you stop doing these things? What do you think is going to happen when you get tired of doing it, or life just gets so busy where you can't do hours of cardio anymore? What's going to happen? You're going to gain the weight back, guys. You're going to gain the weight back. I see it over and over again. I see folks hit me up all the time. Yeah, man, I'm just going to do this, man. If it don't work, I'll reach back out. Oh, man, I dropped like 10 pounds, man. I'm doing good. A couple more months go by. Hey, man, I gained the weight back. I've been doing this for years, so I'm able to, I build relationships with people in my DMs on social media, Instagram and Facebook. And so they're telling me what's going on. One of the guys, what's his name? Darrell Mays used to be in my coaching program, and he graduated about a month or so ago. But we had conversations for a couple of months before he joined my coaching program. And he was getting like my little resources that I put out on Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. He lost a little bit of weight, gained it back. And then he ended up joining the coaching program. Now he's down over 50 plus pounds. And this is a guy who developed high blood pressure before we started working together, ended up on dialysis, which is extremely expensive, like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month expensive, to get inside the coaching program, learning sustainable habits, routines, drop 50 plus pounds, and now he's good. Got a little baby girl. He used to be on our group coaching calls, because we have group coaching calls on a weekly basis. Now you see his little baby girl has so much energy. Can you imagine feeling tired from all that weight and just feeling mentally tired too from all the weight? And you're like, man, my baby just wearing me out. She got too much energy. Or if you got a baby boy. That's why it's important, guys. This is not just look good. This is being able to improve your quality of life and have longevity. That way you can be there for the people you love and care about. And so it requires having structure. The same structure, discipline that you give your kids and your family, you have to have that for yourself too. Otherwise, this is how your health gets worse, all right? So hopefully y'all found this helpful. I did see a couple of comments down here, a question, so I'm gonna answer these questions real quick. Doesn't like protein shakes, is it possible to, so what if someone doesn't like protein shakes, is it possible to get toned? Well, just drinking protein shakes, even if you're not lifting weights, you can be drinking protein shakes all day long, day and night. You're still not gonna get toned up if you're not lifting weights. You have to lift. You can't just do cardio and drink protein shakes. And you don't have to drink protein shakes. That's just a supplement, guys. If you consume enough protein from your foods, chicken, fish, steak, beef, turkey, eggs, egg whites, these are proteins. If you eat enough of these things, you won't need to have protein shakes if you don't want to. But protein shakes, it can make things more convenient and flexible, because a lot of people that I help, they tend to be really busy. You don't always have time to eat a full meal, or find something to snack on. You can drink a protein shake. Okay, it makes it quick and convenient. There are ways I can lose fat but maintain my muscle. I don't want to lose the muscle. Please help me understand how to maintain them. And that goes back to what I was just telling the other person. If you're not lifting weights, you can't maintain your muscle. You have to lift. It's a non-negotiable, guys. If you want to maintain your muscle while you're dropping body fat, you have to lift and you have to eat the proper amount of calories and energy on a daily basis. This is why I talk about calorie intake, but also protein intake, healthy fats, healthy carbs, because these are vital, these are essentials to not just lose weight, but look the part. Y'all using the words tone, that you want to have a certain look. If you just focus on weight loss and calorie intake and cardio, you go lose weight and you could not be happy with how your body looks. You won't have that definition, the abs, the arms, the legs looking good. You just go be slim and skinny fat. But you won't go through that if you lift properly, if you start focusing on the right way to eat, okay, having structure around these things. That's how you start to lean out and tone up or get more cut or defined. You know, a lot of ladies say tone, a lot of men say define and cut, but it's the same thing. Yes, I do. I like most food, so it's not a problem. I'm lifting, but I just don't know how much calories I should be eating. Is 1,500 good? I have muscle mass, but everything I do, I go on a deficit, I feel flat. That's happening because you could potentially not be eating enough, but also you want to be eating the right types of food. This is where I talk about protein intake, fats intake, carb intake. These things are vital. Because if you're just doing something, I'm just go eat less and just eat more protein. But you cut out your carbs, you cut out all the healthy fats, yeah, you're gonna be flat. A lot of people who just do for example, like the keto diet, these types of people, they're not really eating much carbs at all. You lean out extremely quick, but you go feel flat. Dang, man, why my muscles not full? You know what I'm saying? You need those carbs. Carbs help fill your muscles up, all right? Muscle glycogen, that makes your muscles feel full, okay? Even using supplements. This isn't a supplement video, but I have another video about this, but supplementation with creatine. Creatine helps your muscles, it stores water in your muscles, it hydrates your muscles. It can help your muscles stay more full, okay? Yeah, bro, I'm on low carbs. Yeah, that's like the generic way that most trainers and coaches try to teach people. They just say, hey, just do low carb and do less calories. But they don't tell people the consequences of eating that way. And that is not extremely sustainable eating that way. Not only do you feel flat, you start to burn out really quickly. And if you don't have like a balanced amount of like your macronutrients, you can find yourself feeling exhausted, like just straight burned out after a couple of weeks. Depending on your willpower level, it could be days. Year 2 versus year 1 in the fitness journey. And what my shift do you see for most of your clients when they hit year 2? So I have a coaching client who's in her 2nd year right now. She's down, her name is Ann, she's down like 105 pounds. It's not just the weight loss that a lot of people just think about the weight loss. It's more than just weight loss. It's also the mindset shifts that you're gonna have from the first couple of months to like the first 6 months, completely different than 6 to 12 months. And then 12 to the next 12 months, completely different, guys. Like your mentality and the things that are important to you are gonna change, especially if you're seeing results, okay? And so initially, what I find is, because I've been doing this for 15 years now, most people, they just want to get some wins. They want to get some victory. They're going to be spending, a couple of $100 a month for coaching. They're like, hey, man, I'm ready to see some results, man. And so they want to have quick wins. And so a lot of my clients, they drop 20, 30, 35 plus pounds their first 3 months. And so that's like the first part of things. And they're getting some more awareness around like how food works. Getting clarity around like the importance of certain types of foods and measuring your food and the portions and things like that. But once you get this, and you start to develop some awareness and clarity around it, now you start to have more confidence. And then over the next 6 to 12 months, I say about from 3 to 6 months, it's like you're doing the right habits, but then it's time to start improving those habits. That's why I talk about high performance lifestyle, because the high performance is improving what you're already doing, okay? You're improving those habits, okay? You're improving your lifestyle. That way you can go from 25, 30 something pounds to 40 to 60 something pounds in 6 months, okay? Improvement. And then from there, 6 to 12 months, what I see a lot of times is, it's like some people want to know, a lot of times what I find, a lot of my clients are still, they've lost a lot of weight, but they're just still like, they're still a little anxious, like, man, did I get lucky? Is this weight gonna come back? Can I keep this weight off? And so that's where having that coach in their corner, because we do weekly check-ins and group coaching calls and things like that. And like this is where we like cement the belief that it's like, this is your new normal. This is your life. You're not like living like a bodybuilder, but it's certain habits, it's certain ways of thinking that you have to like live by to be able to keep this look, to be able to continue to feel good. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, that helps them have that confidence. And then, you know, over the course of 6 to 12 months, they go from like 40 to 50 or 60 pounds down. That's how they drop, you know, 70, 80, 100 pounds over the course of a year. And then year 2 is kind of like, you know, in some cases, they just still want some accountability and some structure, maybe even some improvements with the way they do things, because they could potentially be bored with how they're eating, you know. And so we start to improve different ways of eating, understanding not just calorie and protein, but understanding macros, you know. And it also becomes like, once you hit a certain result, let's say you lose a lot of weight, but you're like, man, I want to make sure I'm all the way toned up. You know, now we start to really focus on that area, like progressive overload in the gym, you know, getting stronger, getting faster, building more endurance. Yeah, those are just a couple of things I see, you know. It's more things, those are like top of mind right now. Is protein intake important to preserve muscle, calorie deficit? Yes, protein is very important. And how do I reach my intake? You reach your intake by having more structure with your eating habits. I see a lot of times people who are really busy and successful, they tend to skip meals because they're just so busy. And that's one of the worst things you could do, because now you have low energy, now you have brain fog, now your body starts to eat at your muscle for energy, all right? And so that's no good. And that's how a lot of people end up gaining weight, but it's like a lot of fat weight. They don't have the muscle anymore, okay? So it's still important to eat protein within each of your meals and your snacks. Not snacking on things like popcorn and trail mix, and these foods don't have any nutritional value. They're just empty calories. Good answer, thanks for sharing. So you know what you're talking about. How do I maintain my metabolic rate during fat loss? Strength training. Strength training, we're gonna cut off in about another minute or two, y'all. I don't want this video to be super long. Yeah, you gotta lift weights, man. Like, you wanna keep your metabolism high, lifting weights. This is a good video, actually. I should make a topic on this, a live on this right here. I'm gonna write that down. But lifting weights, make sure you're getting enough sleep, because if you're not getting enough sleep, not getting enough sleep, guys, causes your immune system to drop, all right? It causes your immune system to suffer. It's so bad, like for guys, our testosterone even starts to drop if we're not getting enough sleep. And so, of course, it's gonna make our metabolic rate lower as well, because we're not getting enough sleep, not getting enough rest. You can't manage your stress. You're not eating enough protein. You're not lifting weights to build muscle. All these things are critical for your metabolic rate, for your health and wellness. All right, bro. Take you up on that advice. Appreciate you. Cool. All right, guys, I'm out of here. If you want more help from me, more structure, you want me to remove the guesswork for you so you know exactly what steps you need to take to get the results you want, I'll drop a link down in the description below. You can check out the details. All right, guys. Peace.